Hi there. I know that I have been very quiet online for some time now, but for the past year I have been working hard behind the scenes, and today I can finally share with you what all that hard work has led to. We have a new name and a new logo, but most importantly we have a renewed sense of purpose. For 8 years we went by the name of Active English, but now we are Active Education. Okay, so I know that might not, on the surface, it might not seem like such a big change. It's just one word, right? But for me, and for many of you who have been growing alongside this community, it means so much more. This really does mark our transition in our identity, our practices, and our values. It mirrors this shift that I've gone through personally as an educator, and maybe you have too. But to really understand where we're going, you need to take a step back to where all this began. I want you to picture this. It was me. It was about 2004. I was in the staff room telling my colleagues with pride, give me 10 minutes and a deck of flashcards and I can plan you a lesson. And I wasn't exaggerating. You see, I'd been taught that teaching English to children was all rote learning of vocabulary. And I'd gotten really good at coming up with games and songs and activities to teach language from themes like family, numbers, colours. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And that's because even though I started teaching kids over 20 years ago, that's what you still find at the heart of most English language courses today. I would like to tell you that I knew straight away that this teacher-led approach wasn't developmentally appropriate. But that wouldn't be true. Like so many women, I had been sent off to teach preschool children without the knowledge or experience in how this age group learned best. And I mean, it was fine for a while, but eventually I guess I just hit a wall. I knew that I couldn't spend another year at the front of that room asking kids to listen and repeat. I mean, that wasn't what I'd been dreaming about when I got into education in the first place. So I began to look for the knowledge and the training that I knew that I was missing. And this is when I began my transition towards this more holistic approach to teaching, one that considered the needs of the whole child and one that aligned with this growing body of research that we have on play and learning. Now, I've spent years reading, writing about, and advocating for more play and lessons, but the most important thing to becoming a play-based teacher was me applying it in my own classroom. Keep in mind that this change wasn't overnight. At the time, I was teaching groups of up to 24 preschoolers. I was having to cover an outdated course book. I was dealing with parents' expectations, coordinators. I was overworked and underpaid. And I know that this is probably a very familiar context to most young learner teachers. So yeah, my transition was gradual and experimental. It wasn't always successful, and that was because I was on my own. I understand why so many teachers and schools who want to adopt a play-based approach end up returning to their old practices. I know firsthand how hard change is, especially when you don't have the support you need. And that's the origin story of why Active English started. It was born from my need for connection and community. And first, it was just me literally sharing what I've been doing in my classroom online. But then it was giving workshops and talks at conferences and schools. And what I was sharing seemed to be resonating with so many teachers who were either already doing something similar or felt like they should be. And there I was with this engaged community of people like me. And we connected over our frustrations about how challenging the job is, but also about our belief that what we do matters. We don't teach English, we teach children. And speaking a foreign language is just one of the many wonderful outcomes of our work. I wanted to share this story because I think making that shift from being an English teacher to an early years educator, that's a big deal to me. That was the first step towards truly seeing the whole child in my teaching, and of course to feeling more fulfilled professionally. So if you're someone who believes in the power of early childhood education, if you know that real transformation comes from working together, and you want to be part of a community that elevates education by valuing the people at its center, educators and students, then you're exactly where you need to be. Welcome to Active Education. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to unpack exactly what all this means, what we'll be offering educators and schools, how we'll support your growth, and how we'll keep building this community together. And now I'd like to say a real quick thank you. If you've ever watched one of my videos, shared a resource that I made, attended a workshop, reached out with a question or reflection, you've already been part of this journey, and I truly hope that you stay for what's coming next. Follow the new Instagram account if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments what you think about this change. I'll see you online soon.